Right, welcome to this army deployment video. So continuing on the series here, and the feedback's been good, been a good enough response. You can check out the previous videos. I've done one for the Eldar previously, and also the Leviathan Tyranids. Now, the purpose of the video is to not just go through an army list, but to show you deployment and then tactics as you deploy, and then projecting forwards throughout the game. It's a very, very important aspect of the game. If you deploy wrong, you really can put yourself at a big disadvantage. If you deploy well, you really can get ahead and go on to win your game. So it's all part of the process of trying to build an army that does well on the battlefield. So hope this video is a help to you. This is more of an obscure army. Harlequins, don't see them around as much, which is a great shame. The model range is fantastic for them. Well, that's quite limited, the number of models you can get. And perhaps what has put people off is the expectation of colour schemes and freehand paintwork and so on. I would point out at this stage on the channel there is a painting tutorial for these Harlequins. It's actually for the vehicles, so if you like the look of these, there is a full tutorial that will guide you through the process for painting up the vehicles, which you can then use that process on things like the Skyweaver jet bikes and so on. So you can check out that video, you'll find it on the channel. So if you're tempted to collect Harlequins, I would highly recommend it. As I said, it can be a challenge for the painting, but you can choose what colour scheme you go for. You can go for a lot simpler colour schemes. You don't have to paint patterns either. You can use things like stencils and transfers to help you out with that as well. They're quite a fragile army, like physically, but some amazing sculpts, beautiful, beautiful models for sure. This video is to help give you an idea of how to use them on the battlefield. So what we'll do is, I have a scenario lined up here. You can see there is a deployment zone running diagonally. So this will be the deployment zone for Harlequins, so you can see which units go where. And then we have some objectives laid out on the board as well. So I'm going to go through the list here for the Harlequins first of all. I think quite a typical one. So using a good number of boats here. So Void Weavers at the back, 3 of them. I take the prismatic cannons, bit of anti-heavy infantry, anti-tank, anti-monster. Option with those. Bit of Dakka can come from each of them as well. With the twin or the 2 shuriken cannons. They have a pretty good rule where you have to be within 18 inches to shoot at them, so you can use those to hang around at the back for a bit of firepower support. Then Star Weavers, 3 of those, basically the transport vehicles. Again, double shuriken cannon being taken on those. They have a capacity of 6, which means you can usually take, what I do here is a troop in each, a squad of 5, and then a troop master to go with each of those. So they're an open, there are firing decks, the models can fire out, but they're a great way of transporting your troops around, trying to protect them, get them into position, and then you can hop out, move, and then charge and take on targets. Then for real anti-tank, I've gone with the bikers across here. 3 squads of 4, the Skyweaver jet bikes. I take Zifferglaves, the close combat weapon, which has improved, coming in at strength 6 now, 4 attacks, 3s to hit, damage 2, AP -2, it's pretty good in close combat. So that's on all of those, and then I give them all the haywire cannons on each of them as well. So 2 shots, 3s to hit, strength 3, but it's anti-vehicle 4+, and then it's devastating wounds. So 4+s will be devastating wounds, damage 3. So they can be very dangerous against any kind of vehicle. You're going to bypass with devastating wounds. You're going to bypass Vund saves, toughness, and so on with them. So real good anti-tank option, which you need. And then finally, some characters. We talked about the troop masters, 3 of those. I have a solitaire, very, very useful, small, quick infantry unit, and then 2 death jesters as well. So very good sniping can be done by those. So that's the list. That takes me to 1980 points, and then Segarak's coil upgrade I give to one of the troop masters to round it up to about 2,000 points. So that's the list. How to employ it on the battlefield is the question. So scenario set up across here. I'm going to mention the terrain that we're using. So the battle map is from GameMet.eu. So it's called Imperial Refinery. It's one of my favourite maps here. It's a city fight map, a nice sort of rusty theme running through this. This one comes in a variety of sizes. You can get it in 60 by 44, so perfect for your regular games of 10th edition 40k. It just gives you that gaming surface. And then combining it with the Chem-zone Terrain Set. So that's from GameMet.eu as well. That's those vats that you can see across there. I've actually stacked to get 2 smaller ones. I've stacked one of them on top of the bigger ones to make a really tall one. And then it also comes with a pipe set in there, barricades. It comes with these containers, which are the same dimensions as Munitorum. You can see them here, so they combine really well, and I've stacked them up to make these walkways across the board. So I think they come with all of these containers and barrels as well. So it's a brilliant set. Really good for filling out your table, and combine that with some Games Workshop terrain as well. But check out gamemet.eu. Links below. I'll link each of those products there, so the mat and the terrain set from them. In the video description, you'll also find a discount code for 11% off across the store, and they are shipping worldwide. So, deployment zone across here, home objective, no man's land objectives. Usually there's one dead in the middle, center of the board, one on each flank, one here, and then one across the other side. You can see it over there, and obviously there's the home objective for the opponent across the other side as well. So I've broken this video down into 3 parts, so 3 keywords that you can remember for your Harlequins. So if you remember these 3 keywords in the right order, that can help you out with your deployments. The first one is conceal. So you're looking to hide units and keep them out of trouble as you deploy. This isn't an army that you can deploy in the face of the opponent usually. Usually they're boasting decent firepower, if not very good firepower, Space Marines, Tau, and so on. The worst thing is to start badly and have units lost straight away. Harlequins can suffer from heavy firepower coming through, and if you start losing your boats and your bikes, you'll find yourself in big trouble. So preserve your force as much as you can, and you do that primarily by concealing your force during deployment. So you're trying to get it right. You don't want to hang around here at the back. You've got to get yourself into position to leap out and play the no man's land game to go after the middle objectives. So you're looking for sort of areas, sort of a mid deployment zone deployment, and you're looking for terrain to block line of sight. So we're playing these large clusters of containers as line of sight blocking terrain, obscuring terrain, that one there. That whole piece we're playing as obscuring. The ruins here is obscuring as well. So usually your board's going to have areas like that, and you're really checking your angles and thinking carefully about where to deploy it. So I'll give you an example. Void Weaver across here. Pretty much all of my firepower is range 24, so you've got to keep that in mind as well. If I deploy right at the back and then move forwards, I'm limiting my range on my firepower. So if I can deploy further up, I can maneuver out and then get a decent board coverage with my firepower on the board. So I'm looking at areas like this. This is quite good. My angles are pretty well covered. This gap through here, but that's pretty well covered by the ruin. So there's quite a healthy spot. Here's quite a healthy spot. Tucked in here is a good spot. That's not a good spot. The opponent's going to be able to pick on him. That's not particularly good. Yes, I might get a bit of cover, but still I can be seen down the roads, and that's not so good. That's much better. So you're just figuring out where can I deploy so that I'm not wimping out of the fight, not stuck at the back, but at the same time I'm deploying in a way where I can maneuver and get into position. And I'm trying to, with the boats, looking to deploy in places where I can maneuver out and grab objectives straight away. So I think there's a good spot. And I might do the same with some bikes, again making use of this obscuring terrain. So unless the opponent's got artillery, and usually if they are taking artillery such as Astra Militarum, it's not loads and loads, it's going to be some, but it's not going to be a threat to most of your army. So yeah, you'll take some damage here and there, but usually there's not much threat to that. There's not many overloaded armies with artillery out there. So conceal is the first word. Conceal your units to preserve and protect them. You must do it. If you do go first, fine, you can jump out from your position. If you don't go first, then your opponent's going to find it hard to find targets. That's going to help preserve your force. It's absolutely crucial that you use concealment as much as possible. So moving on, number 2. So you've concealed your army. It links in with the next one. You're planning ahead, and that's the second word, which is maneuver, maneuverability, which is your ability to move around the board Two things for that, well, three actually. First one is to grab objectives. Your army needs to be able to move to grab objectives. The second is to fulfill secondaries. You need to set up your army so you can get to things like the flanks, get to the center of the board, get to no man's land objectives. And then the third reason to have good mobility is to hunt down enemy targets for firepower and for close combat. So as you're deploying and you're concealing your army, you're then looking to look for areas to maneuver to. So how am I going to get to that objective? How am I going to get into position to take on a land raid or whatever enemy unit there is? And how am I going to maneuver if and when secondaries come up with their requirements, which can require you to be all over the place, flanks, board edges, no man's land, and so on. So you want a good spread of units ready to move out to do all of those things. The great thing about Eldar and Harlequins is their ability to maneuver very quickly around the board. For example, bikers, all of the boats are running on a 14-inch move. You could boost that with an extra +2. You could also boost it for the vehicles with an extra D6 +1 to the regular moves. You really can give units a very quick boost. So if you're deploying quite high and boosting units, you have the ability to grab objectives, get into position for firepower, fulfill secondaries very, very quickly. So all of that is in your favor. If you have units being cut down and you're exposed, you're going to limit where you can go, what you can shoot at, objectives that you can take. So protect your army, conceal it, and then prepare yourself ready for maneuvering for those three reasons that we have covered. So I've gone ahead and done a typical deployment, and I'll run through this here and the reasons why. I've sort of explained it already. Void Weavers are on the board. I'm using those as firepower support, backline anchoring type units. So one here, and then one just there. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swap that around. I can tell you why. Because I want the transport further ahead to jump out. This one doesn't need to push ahead, so it can go second in the queue. It can go there at the back. So Void Weaver there. They'll hang around here, push forwards cautiously, use the advantage of their 18-inch sort of lone operative that they have. Firepower support from them throughout the game. Anti-vehicle, anti-heavy infantry, anti-monster. Firepower from them is the idea, and they can watch the back door and just go on sentry duty. Their firepower is pretty good. The prismatic cannon, 2 shots, 3s to hit, strength 12, -3 and 4 damage. It's not bad. It's not going to one-shot kill tanks and so on, but it's pretty good. So 1, 2, 3 of those. I've then spread, because we're talking about the need to maneuver. So I have put a troop master and troop inside each of the Skyweavers, Starweavers, transports. I put one here, and one just here. Again, I would swap that around just to give me those extra inches for the transport vehicle. So I've stayed away from that kill zone across there. I've hidden behind this, and bearing in mind some cover from this and this as well. So it's a good blocking terrain coming through. I've already made use of this terrain across here as well. So turn one, the opponent I think is going to struggle to reach most of these units, which is great, but I'm not way back here. I'm ready to move out. The objective's not that far away, about 14 inches away. So for example, I could move out in the early turn of the game. Obviously I'm going to be exposing that unit, but that's a possibility there. Then for bikers, again, and you're kind of reacting to how the opponent deploys, so you've got to watch to see, if they're leaning heavily on one flank, where their main targets are. You can respond to that with your own deployment, but I put a unit of bikers here, put a unit of bikers across the other side. That's pretty good. I can go with this flank, go with that flank, or I could converge in the middle to concentrate their firepower against a certain target. So they're in position, ready to go and ready to respond. A tactic that I usually do, depending on the situation, is I do put a unit into reserves. That'll protect and preserve them. That's what we're talking about, concealing a unit. There's nothing better than keeping it in reserve. It can't be shot at. And then that can come on your own deployment zone, along one of the flanks, or if you hold them off for long enough inside the opponent's deployment zone. So a big anti-vehicle ambush type unit. Very, very useful to have them turn up wherever you want. So keep them in your back pocket and they can arrive when needed. Then there's a few little small units. So I've deployed a lot more boldly with these. The Death Jesters. They're on sentry duty. Range 24, watching across the board. They can snipe, they can take precision. They can go precision shots, they can go for ignores cover, They can go for sustained, their devastating wounds. They can have as well their firepower. So pretty good. I want to get them into position nice and quickly. So they're in a real good spot. They can they go 8 inches, so I can maneuver them around pretty fast, get good angles. They have lone operative, so the opponent's got to get within 12 to shoot at them. I position them in a way, watching what the opponent has, that I know that they can't get close enough to shoot at them, so I've deployed them more boldly. If you are worried about firepower coming through, then just hide them away and then bring them out to play. If you go first or second, just bring them out when you're ready. So if you want to hide them while you can. The other unit who seems to do well centrally he's just tucked in there. It's the Solitaire. He also has lone operative. I've tucked him away at that corner. He's very, very quick. For example, played a game recently, and this is just to illustrate how you need to respond quickly to secondaries that come up. One of them was area denial, and then also there was another secondary, I can't remember the name of it, but it was getting a range of the central objective and performing an action on it. It needs to be within 3 inches to do it. So I used him, 12-inch move. I think I had to boost him by 2 inches. I didn't use blitz, and I got him to there, first turn of the game, and he grabbed me 7 points. And he was a good model to move out because he had lone operative, and the opponent then had to respond to that. So an early points grabbed by him, just with 2 secondaries that came up. They both focused around the central objective, and then he made the early grab, and as covertly as possible raked in the points. Other opportunities with him would be if the opponent's got some units moved out and there's an opportunity, you can move out your 12, you can blitz, and then you can charge. So he's a small model, highly maneuverable, and quite a threat on the battlefield. So I put him centrally, so he can head off in all different directions. So that's the 2 points. Conceal your army. I've done it as best as I can, but not giving away pushing up the table, because I've got to play the game where I'm trying to get onto the objectives and so on. Next is maneuverability. So I'm setting up the army to maneuver out onto objectives, to go for secondaries, and to hunt down enemy targets. And then the final point is concentrate. So concentration, and that is for firepower and for close combat. If Harlequin units go toe to toe, like one-on-one, you're going to come off worse. If I put one of these against one of the opponent's vehicles, I'll probably lose the firefight. Harlequins need to combine together to take on targets. So you really want to keep your army preserved, so you've got as many units as possible that can concentrate their firepower in close combat. Maneuverability, to get into position to do that, is key. And the idea is that you can overwhelm targets on the board. So if the opponent, for example, has moved out a real strong unit to the center of the table, how am I going to respond to that with multiple units? So, I'll go through this. I can go with him, some firepower. I can go with him, some firepower. Another trick is, see this one in position, nicely pushed up the board. I'll use an agile maneuver on them to shut down Overwatch, and then I'll disembark with the troop, 3, then move 8, and I've got a threat that is immediately in position to charge that unit. But by themselves they may not be able to do it. The unit could be very strong. So at that point I start maneuvering out units to provide firepower support. I can, and just if I need to, I've got bikers that can maneuver out to shoot and potentially charge and call upon some firepower here. The Solitaire, he's lone operative, he could get involved if he's clever enough. I can pull in firepower from across here. The bikers could even switch across. So you can see how the whole army, or most of the army, is able to respond to that together, to combine and then concentrate their firepower and close combat to take on a target. So it could be there, it could be here, it could be across the other side, it could be an opponent's deep striking in, something's landed in your deployment zone, and so on. So the ability to concentrate with firepower and your close combat is absolutely crucial. And if you're able to do that well, you can pretty much take on anything. So that's the video. Don't need to extend any longer. It's those 3 points. So conceal your force, set up your army, and maneuver around the board for secondaries, destroying enemy units, and for grabbing objectives. And then finally, the ability to concentrate your army against targets. Let us know what you think of those 3 points. And by all means, leave comments in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from experienced Harlequins players if you agree with the theory here. Let us know practically how you get on in your games. Let us know if you've faced against Harlequins and how good they are or not, even how you're able to counter the Harlequin maneuverability and so on around the board. But let us know in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video series, you want to see more videos about deployment tactics, then let us know in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up as well, it's much appreciated. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do subscribe. And if you want to see extra content, including battle reports, then do join us on YouTube channel membership. You can support the channel here, help us with the content, and as a reward we can give you extra videos, including battle reports to watch. And I guess for more tactics, we have a series called Army Development Videos on membership, where I propose new lists long before they come to YouTube, and it's a chance to discuss those lists, make your own suggestions. I read the comments. Often I will enact some of those changes and bring in new units and change things around. Good discussion on tactics for the various factions on the channel. That's all over on YouTube channel membership. You can join, link below, or you can go to channel homepage and hit the join button. So keep a lookout for more videos in this series. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.